one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, a moment of silence for the men and women in the armed forces, our first responders, our veterans, those fighting the good fight in the Ukraine, and those people that had things happen to them today and yesterday during the northeastern big storm. Thank you. We could say the American Creed.
Oh, yes, sorry. I believe in the United States of America as a government by the people, of the people, for the people, whose just powers are derived from the consent of the governed, democracy in a republic, a sovereign nation of many sovereign states, a perfect union, one and inseparable, established upon the principles of freedom, equality, justice, and humanity, for which American patriots sacrificed their lives and fortunes. I therefore believe it is my duty to my country to love it, to support its Constitution, to obey its laws, to respect its flag, and to defend it against all enemies.
Thank you. Sal.
Hello, Randy.
Do we have anybody that would like to speak tonight?
I don't see participation from the public.
Okay. Thank you, Sal.
And who do we have on the phone? We have Hillary, right?
Yep.
Anybody else?
Okay. Nope.
Oh.
All right. Katie?
All right, well, I'd like to move that we approve the consent agenda, which are items 4A, B, and C.
Second.
Okay.
Any discussion?
I'd just like to mention the Parks and Rec would like to thank for the donations they received for the 8-mile and 5K road races, the Woodbridge Running Company, and a $50 gift certificate from Stop and Shop. They requesting monetary donations be deposited into the recreation revenue account, which is 104-50500-44709 of the New Milford Parks and Rec Commission, and would like to thank the donors for their generosity.
Any discussion on the motion? We have a motion and a
I
second.
have an edit to the minutes, please.
Okay.
With Hillary.
Okay.
Yeah, it was during, should I go ahead with the edit?
Yes.
Okay, during Director Oxtow's financial report, right after the mayor expressed that he thought it was great that we had a very large surplus, I clearly stated that the numbers had not yet been heard from the report, and I would like them to be reflected in the minutes. They are on the revenue side, $1,636,267. Expenses, $4,320,547. So I said it was about $6 million surplus. I think that should be reflected in the minutes. Thank you.
What was the first number?
It's on the revenue side, $1,636,267.
Okay.
On the expenses, $4,320,547. Thank you.
I think we need to get those verified from Mr. Ossipow.
They're on the financial report. They're at the bottom of at the end of each report on the revenue side and on the expense side.
I would say, yeah, pending Greg's agreement.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions?
Mayor, your comments are next.
Thank you. I'd like to first start off with an update from today's and last night's flooding. At the DPW weather station that we have there, they recorded 3.2 inches of rain in less than 10 hours. I know up at my house on Mount Tom, I had about 5 inches. I know, Paul, you said you had about 6. That's an amazing amount of water in less than 24 hours. Currently, Veterans Bridge is closed. The Chief Ceruto decided to close in conjunction with Jack Healy, our DPW director, to close Veterans Bridge purely for safety, as the waters were rising pretty substantially pretty quick, and we just wanted to make sure that no one was to get stuck on the bridge. So they are monitoring the actual flows as of now. They seem to be dissipating, and once it is safe, they will reopen the bridge. Currently, roads that are closed are River Road, Route 7 by Carvel's, Indian Trail Road, Hartwell Road, and West Street by the Bleachery. Some of those, like Indian Trail and Hartwell, those are more rural roads. And those are trees are down with wires. So we're just waiting for those to get taken away either by Eversource or Frontier. And then when they can continue to work on those roads and getting those restored. And a special thank you to our New Milford Police Department, New Milford Fire Department, New Milford Ambulance, and our DPW teams for all their efforts last night and today and into tonight. As the DPW teams, there's going to be 2 of them that are going to continue to work on the gravel roads to make sure they're passable and safe for our residents. Infrastructure, very quickly, the New Milford High School roof, I'll talk about that a little bit later as that's on the agenda. As far as the road programs, paving and backfilling continues on Candlewood Lake Road North. Drainage work is being performed on Buckingham and Bostwick. Drainage work began on Bear Hill, and we're going to be doing all the bears this year. That'll be Little Bear, Big Bear, and Bear Hill. And the engineering staff is inspecting the draining systems on each of those roads. KSC is continuing the engineering studies and recommendations for the intersections at Grove Street and Hine Hill Road, and Fordyce and Grove Street as well. And once we get some more information, I'll have Jack come in and update the council. Upland Road Bridge construction continues on schedule. Town, we received a CHRO request for Mud Pond Road Bridge and Gaylord Road, and that's just auditing from the state to make sure we comply with CHRO on those bridge projects. AI Engineers continuing engineer design work on Brookside Road Bridge. Inland Wetlands is reviewing the project application at their next meeting. DOT is doing the design work on Wheaton Road, Sand Road, Van Car Road bridges. And Connecticut Department of Transportation is responsible for the rights-of-way determinations and acquisitions on these bridges. I'll talk a little bit more about East Street School on the mayor down below underneath Mayor, but just real quick, we were able to get the keys but prior to July 1st, and right now we are going to be doing some air sampling, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. The Town Hall exterior windows are scheduled to be painted sometime this month, so we're excited about that. Have you seen the new carpeting that is in Town Hall, both on the stairs and the first floor and the second floor here? And that should be pretty much done. And let's see what else I have here. As far as today, we raised the Argentinian flag for their Independence Day and for those Argentinian residents from Argentinian heritage. I want to thank Sue Ford and the Milford Library for this past Saturday's summer reading kickoff. Had a lot of youngsters come in, sign up. She also had, I believe it was 10 or 12 authors that were there. They were doing their books, and you could listen to them. They had like 15 minutes intervals. So you could see that music was being played, face painting, a real great event. Thinking outside the box to, bring more people to the library, which we're all excited about. Want to congratulate Devin Looney and Quality Date, the Horse Quality Date, for their M&S Horsemanship Medal at Garnertown Farms. Want to congratulate Jack Ballsy as he represented the New Milford and Connecticut in the Nike National All-Star Games this past weekend. And for those that were wondering why we do not have the Fair Rent Commission on this agenda, was that there's going to be a CCM workshop on the 18th that I know I have scheduled to be on that call. I believe there may be some others. Katie did as well. And I felt that it'd be prudent that we review this, as it's going to give us updates, bring that back to the council, and then continue on with that. And as far as events, we got a lot of events going on. So for this month, we've got the farmers market on this coming Saturday, and it's each and every Saturday from 9 a.m. to noon. And music on the bandstand from 10 to 12, and that music will be the Traveling Danberries. On January 20th at 6:30 p.m. on Bank Street is Rock the Block concert. That'll be Nashville Drive, great country band. And thank you to the Bank Street group for putting that on. So if you'd like to see a great show, come on down, bring your chair, and relax and watch a great show. On July 22nd, lots of things going on. First at 10 a.m. is the Irish bowling. It'll be happening from the Irish Club, so thank you for that. Also at 10 a.m., here is the Litchfield Artisan Festival. It'll be here in the downtown. There's about 82, I believe, in talking with Mr. Whitman, vendors that will be here. It's kind of like the old Village Fair days, people bringing their own wares in that they've made. Be a great event. Also on the 22nd and 23rd, starting at 10, lots of 10 things, at Candlelight Farms, is the Colonial Contours d'Elegance car show and airplane show. They're going to have vintage airplanes, cars, music, all sorts of stuff. 6 p.m. kickoff is for the Connecticut Militia game. That's at the Milford High School. Went to the home opening last weekend. That was great to see. So thank you to the militia for making New Milford home. Then we have on the 29th is the farmers market again from 9 to noon. Also on the 22nd, I believe at 11 a.m. is the Oddfellows is doing their roast beef sandwiches there. So you can go there until they run out. Have a roast beef sandwich.
Coming weekend.
It's the 15th, isn't it?
I think that's this Saturday.
This
I
Saturday,
think it's
sorry.
this Saturday.
Yep, this Saturday. Thank you.
Yep.
You just want everybody else to
Yeah,
go the next
exactly.
week.
So I can get more.
Yeah.
You found it out. You found it out.
It's a little trick here, huh?
On July 29th at 8:30 a.m. on the green is the New Milford Road Race. Thank you to Park and Rec, and they're also going to do a kids fun run. On the 29th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. is the Hog Wild Obstacle Course. And then on August 5th at 7 p.m. on the green is the first Edward Kincaid concert series by the Arts Commission, which will be the Country Steel. And I have one more thing that I'd like to address during Mayor's comments, and I'm hoping I can do this correctly on the screen. If not, Mike, I may ask you for assistance and help.
What day was the first concert?
Kincaid? August,
Was it August?
it's Saturdays they have them. The 5th, maybe?
August 5th, okay.
Do this right.
Yes, please.
Click this on, right?
What's going on?
Oh, it is?
Yep. Can't see it too well.
Believe it or not, this weather had to warm up.
So what?
This weather had to warm up.
Oh. Oh.
I have the same password.
Okay, can everybody see that on there now?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Now this, Mike, I would just push it, right? Just making sure I do it. So we had at our last town council meeting, we had a very robust talk about when we knew about the high school roof. And we had people stating that we didn't know about it. Okay, so today we're going to talk about when we did see it and did hear it. So as you can see, this is a town council meeting. This is January 10th, 2022.
Well,
As far as our roof projects, the high school roof project is on schedule. A large shipment of panels is expected next week. If you do happen to go down there, you can see some of the work already being done. We have been working with the contractor due to the fire that happened in Jack, and the Board of Education facilities team are working hard and making sure that all the remediation is completed on that. The town hall roof project is on schedule and on budget. Okay, we start talking about that January 10th, 2022.
Just to be clear, that was the first fire.
Correct. Okay. Here's one. Okay. As far as our energy program that we're working on, and we're using the cost savings of the energy. Now, here's the Board of Education minutes, February 8th, 2022. Municipal Building Committee, Milford High School roof project. They're talking about it too.
And a pipe falling.
Yeah.
You had Mr. Jack Healy there, Mrs. Fallenbach, who at that time was chairman of the Board of Education,
Superintendent.
Superintendent,
Corpo.
Mr. Corpo. Okay? Here's a New Milford High School school to reopen Friday after roof fire prompted evacuation.
December.
What date is that?
December 2nd.
Let me check, make sure. Put my glasses on. Let me run over here and double check that I got the right date. December 2nd, 2021.
That's the News Times.
It's so unfortunate that I can't see what's going on, but it does sound really good.
Oh, you're not watching. I thought you might be watching
What would
us.
I watch it on? Is it on Facebook? Because I think I should be seeing what's happening. Where is it live?
Well, you could see us. I don't know.
Facebook, probably.
Michael,
No, Michael usually shows
can
it.
you?
It's live on YouTube and Facebook. There's roughly 50.
She-
All right, thank you. I'll get on it. Go
Can
ahead.
she see that?
The screen?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes,
He always
Hillary, you
shows it.
can.
Here's another one.
All right, I'll get on it.
Despite fire, New Milford Road roof project not expected to impede timeline or added costs. Let me jog over here again.
December 9, 2021.
What was that name?
December 9th, 2021.
That's the News Times also, right?
I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the
You
web.
can see up in the URL.
Right.
Yeah, it's the News Times.
So, to the council.
Town council meeting that you referenced up there, was everybody here as members of the town council?
I believe they were.
Oh,
That was January 10th, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of 2022.
I think you were on the phone,
Correct.
Mary Jane. Okay, then Mary Jane wasn't. Everybody else was.
So the rest of the members were here.
Yep.
Or you can replay it afterwards anyway, so it's not as heated.
So-
Mike, is YouTube, you have the back dates of the things on YouTube, right, our meetings? So I could see what happened on
You can go right to our,
January
you can go
10th?
right to our town page and watch them for yourself. And
Well,
I'll
that's
make
good.
available the News Times articles. I think some of them have a paywall, but at least I can give you the dates and you can check them yourself. So as a council, we did know.
Let's just get to mine.
Here's something pretty cool, lastly. And we talked about this in the very, very beginning, back when I became mayor, right? One of the things we stressed was excellence. Excellence in service here in New Milford, and how we help our taxpayers, our residents, and our business community. So what I asked was our IT director, Dave Watts, at the time, I said, can we do a remembrance every time we turn on our computers? So it kind of reminds us, kind of like when you go to a big bowl game, or you go to a big college football game, right? They go through the tunnel, I see everybody clapping the sign, the mission statement. So when you go onto ours, look what it says. Excellence in service, the New Milford way. I thought that's pretty cool. All right.
Oh, right.
Thank you for clearing that.
Yes, sir. Okay. Katie?
I just confirmed that everyone except Mary Jane was at that meeting in January.
Absolutely.
So. Okay.
Could I have the date of the meeting that you referred to? I can't see the screen, and I would like to know what date of the meeting what meeting you're referring to. January 10th, is it?
January 10th, yes.
2022.
Okay, January 10th. And these are the minutes?
It's the
The video.
video
Referring to?
of, the
video.
video of our meeting, that meeting was what first came up. The
Okay,
town-
January 10th, 2021?
22. And then there are two screenshots of what was in the newspaper, December 1st, 2021.
We're not interested in the newspaper. It's the minutes of the meeting.
Ah.
So that was what the mayor just showed, January
The
10th.
video, not
We
the
showed the
minutes.
video, Hillary.
The video.
The video,
Okay,
so there could
that's
be
great. I'll go
no,
watch it.
there could
Did
be
you
no.
show- Did you show any of the reports that were submitted to town council from the committee?
Again, Hillary, the report.
Did you hold those up on the screen?
What was
just
it you
now?
showed us, the minutes?
I just would like to have clarification on that.
Clarification on what? Can you clarify your question?
Yeah, were there any reports submitted to town council?
The reports
The
are.
entire time that
Okay.
the entire time that that committee's been in
Okay,
existence.
so Hillary, we can interpret as we talked about it several
Thank you.
times, which is the report
No,
that I
it's not an
give.
interpretation.
Excuse
A
me,
report is
you
a
asked me
report.
you asked me a question, I'm answering it for you. A report can be verbal or written, depends on how we want to do it. That's a report. Let me clarify a little bit more too. Randy, can a report be given verbally or written?
Unless it's directed to be written, it can be either way.
Right. And according to the ordinance, as it is as of now, it doesn't specifically say written.
It does not.
Thank you. Okay, enough with this, enough with the grandstanding.
Let's move on.
Okay.
Okay? All right.
Item
Katie?
8, yes, I'd like to move.
Mary Jane had a
Sorry.
question.
Oh, sorry, Mary Jane.
Just going back to your comments about CCM and having, is it going to be a Zoom meeting? Is
Yes,
that-
ma'am.
Okay. Did you notify
There's
everybody?
in your.
Yep. They
One
sent-
of them
they-
came through the email, your town email.
Okay.
And Hillary actually sent it to all of us too.
Oh, okay, I
With
didn't
this,
see
but
it.
I can give this to you tonight if you'd like. It has the links and everything on it.
Sure, that's fine.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. And usually what's on the video should be in our minutes, correct?
No.
So,
How would you have minutes
I
on a
mean-
video? It makes no sense.
Minutes
You don't read them.
But
Not
usually-
word by word.
It does
no,
reference.
I know they're not verbatim,
It
but
is
usually
referenced-
there's,
It is referenced in the minutes, I just checked.
Yeah.
there usually is, if it's, if it's on the video, it's
Is it in
usually
there, Stephanie?
in the minutes.
She just
So-
checked the minutes from that meeting.
And it's there? Okay.
Okay.
Katie?
Yeah. Item 6, I'd like to move to approve the following appointment to the Library Board of Trustees. Angela Herdter as an alternate. Her term would be July 7th, 2023 to January 31st of 2026.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Thank
Also,
you.
item 6, I'd like to move that we approve to the Zoning Commission Patricia Bogie, alternate, term of July 7th, 2023 to January 31st, 2024.
Second.
Any discussion?
She's related to Charlie Bogey,
That's his sister-in-law.
his sister-in-law.
In-law.
So we're going to have 2 Bogies on the zoning commission?
I don't think a last name should preclude people from wanting to serve.
No, I don't think it should either, but I just.
So what is the relationship? I couldn't hear.
Sorry, Hillary, it's sister-in-law?
I don't know, I'm sorry, I just think that's a little too close. That's my personal opinion.
Sure.
I think,
May I ask our town attorney?
Not unlawful, no, it's not.
I'm sure it's
Thank
not
you.
unlawful, but I just don't think it's a good practice.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Any
I
abstentions?
oppose.
Okay,
No.
2 opposed.
thank you.
Okay, item number 7, Mayor, you,
Okay.
Building Committee.
Let me get my agenda together here. So report on the Municipal Building Committee. So this was our meeting, which was last week. I presented to the Municipal Building Committee the ordinance as it is currently, and asked them to review it and bring forth their recommendations, if any, to the next Municipal Building Committee meeting, which is on the 20th. I do invite all of our council members to attend the Municipal Building Committee if you so choose. I know, Katie, you do serve on there. And it'd be great to hear from more of our council members or the public itself.
What's the
You
next,
can
so
come
what's
in.
the next meeting
Yeah,
Is
we
the
have-
20th?
of July?
Yep.
We have,
It's at 7 p.m. right here in the E. Paul Martin Room. I've also asked them to come up with what their thoughts are. If they're in agreement to what their thoughts are, then I will add this their comments to the 7/24 Town Council meeting and the agenda to continue the conversation. We also talked about Butterbrook, and that we're using American Relief Funds, I believe $90,000 for the roof. Charles Bogey is the municipal building liaison member, and he was working with Teresa at Butterbrook, and they're actually exploring an opportunity to do the whole roof rather than patchwork with the $90,000 through insurance claim. So they're working through that as of now, and he's going to provide us an additional update at the next meeting. The New Milford High School roof, Dean Petroselli gave us an overview. And Dean, for those that don't know, he's the principal of Petroselli, and he is our architect on record for this project. And as of right now, the contractor, they weren't doing it obviously today due to the weather, but they're doing a prep work for the final top coat for the flat roof process. Before they do that, they have to do what's called a final coating, and that takes 5 to 7 days. And then they do the top coat after that seasons, and then the flat roofs will be completed. We're also working with the former contractor's bonding company concerning the 2 pins that were required per our contract for the standing seam. As we did an independent audit, we saw that there was 1 pin, and we require 2. The bonding company had requested that they're going to get an engineering study to be done to see if the 1 pin can suffice. Garland, who is the manufacturer of the roof products, has stated that they require 2 pins for their warranty, and we have let them know through Dean Petroselli, and I've asked the town attorney to direct it also through a letter to the bonding company that we expect them to honor the contract and put 2 pins in per the contract. I will continue to update the council as we go through this process. The Municipal Building Committee also asked, as we were going through the roof project itself, for the Facilities Board of Education to provide as-built for the New Milford High School gutter system and a maintenance plan for the roof and gutters to make sure that we stay compliant and within the warranty. They also asked for a plan we had some deterioration on the window panes that were causing some additional leaks within the high school. So they'd asked for some of the, for a plan to address those. And I've sent those along to see if we can get those together. So that's pretty much what happened at the Municipal Building Committee. Next is East Street School. And let me get my thing for East Street. So a timeline of where we are. The Board of Ed turned the building over to the town on the 30th of June. On the 4th of July, I'd asked Jack Healy to have a contractor begin air sampling and environmental studies for East Street School. We'll have results in the next few weeks. Once the environmental studies are completed, I will set up dates for the town council and the Board of Finance to tour the facility. Once that's done and completed, we will then in August hold a public opening so that the public can see the building, because it is a public building. And once we get the analysis back, I'll be able to confirm these dates for the tours, for Town Council, Board of Finance, and for the public. In September, I'd like to have the first of 2 public meetings to see what our residents want to do with the building. Then have another public hearing once we get the assessments done. I'm asking for assessments to give us a cost analysis of what the cost of East Street to bring it up to code. Once that's completed, I'll bring that to the town council, and they're looking at sometime in October for that completion. And once that's completed, I'll bring it to the council. The goal is to have a second then public hearing after that's done, sometime in November. And then the goal would be to have all the information, at least 2 public meetings, the information to council and the Board of Finance in hand, so that then we can make this a referendum question at the next budget hearings. So we don't have to pay for another budget, for another referendum. It's all in one. So I'll have more information as that goes along. I did want to inform the council. Again, I'm going to see if I can make this computer work.
Pete's going high tech tonight, huh?
Huh?
Pete's going high tech tonight.
That's right. It's the 21st century.
Okay, I don't know if you guys can see this pretty good.
Oh, yes.
It's warming up a little bit here.
It's a familiar sight.
Okay. So what you're seeing here is I had our facilities team go to East Street School today to assess, obviously we had a lot of water, what the situation would be at East Street School. So here you can kind of see the outside, the water and the cracking around the foundation. Make this get bigger.
These photos were taken today.
Yes.
That looks like my cellar. Huh? Did you?
Really? Oh, jeez.
Trying to get out of the water. A big one?
Big enough.
Yeah.
So this
Thanks,
area
Sam.
you're seeing here, this is the basement storage room. This is below where Carmela's cupboard storage room is currently, as Carmela's is working out of East Street School. And as we all know, Carmela's is serving those in needs, and thank you to Angie and her whole staff for that. Maybe I can make this bigger.
That's looking up at the ceiling. I think so.
This next picture is, you can see, is the ceiling in the same storage room of Carmela's. As you can see where the water has infiltrated into the area. Here. You can see where it's produced a lot of breakup here.
So Pete, what floor is this?
This is a basement.
This is basement, so.
This is where Carmela's storage room is. So if you were on the bottom side, right, where the auditorium used to be,
Yeah.
Right.
right there.
So somehow
And this is in
water's,
back.
this isn't a roof leak, water's getting into the building.
Correct.
somehow.
No, she's
Correct.
away from the roof.
This is the storage room at Carmela's, and you can see where the water has infiltrated down into the floorboards as well. So it's deteriorating the floorboards. No, we're assessing everything right now, but this is,
That's an odd place for a radiator.
this is the ceiling by Carmela's entrance. The
Yeah.
whole, I'm sorry.
You can actually use this to go right
Oh,
through the
cool,
pictures.
thanks, Mike. The whole here was actually,
Right.
a little bit smaller. It was there, but it did get a little bit larger with the downpours that we had.
Right.
There.
Is that radiator disconnect, the furnace is
I-
disconnected, right?
The furnace is been done, so it's
Yes,
not.
I thought, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not disconnected, it just doesn't work.
That's true.
And here is,
Nice mold.
which is why we're doing the air testing.
Yep.
Here is, let me get the one for this one. So this one is right outside of their space. Camell's right in the, where they would come in and access to get in. This is the, you may not be able to see it, but down towards the like right down in here, this is all wet. This area here is all wet. So they wanted to let us know.
That's coming
with the
up through
leaks.
through the boards or coming down from the
I
ceiling?
think it's coming down.
Huh.
I'm not really sure.
Well, it kind of looks surface. But
But I wanted to apprise the council tonight that, you know, we just got this building. Just want to make sure that there are some leaks in this building. They've been ongoing for quite some time. And we are getting an assessment. I asked Jack to get our preferred contractor, because we have one that we have as a preferred contractor through the bid award, to go in and give us an estimate on the cost to, you know, at least get the,
plug up the holes?
making it safe, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll apprise the council at our next council meeting, kind of where we are in that process.
Good.
But I wanted to alert the council. This is my personal thoughts. I think this is way too big a decision for one person, 9 people, 12 people. I think we should have a thorough, objective look at the building and what we could or couldn't do with it. If we want to keep it, we want to sell it, what we want to do with it. But I think that, you know, kind of from learning experience, both on the council and as mayor, I think this is something that we all need to discuss and figure out in a very thoughtful and planned way to figure out what we're going to do with this building.
I mean, is it a building that the town could really use for office space or what?
I mean, for office space, I would say as mayor, I don't think this would be a spot for office space, like if you're looking to expand. But I think there could be municipal uses for it, as it was done. We had a study done years ago. This was pre-COVID, of what we could do. I also think that there's uses in the private sector as well. There could be a combination of uses. But I think it's just very important that we as a council hear from the people to see what we really want to do with this building. It's a historic building, beautiful, for those that have been in there, has an absolutely gorgeous stained glass window. It has art from the WPCA in there from many, many years ago. But I think we have to have a real thorough conversation as to what we want to do with it. And I think
what
it's
it would cost.
and the cost, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think it's way more important for 1 or 9 people to figure it out. I think we need to have public input and see where we can go from there.
Yeah, it's been talked about for so long. They ought to let the people decide.
Mayor, are we going to when we look at town properties holistically, are we gonna do a similar process where we evaluate what it would take to upgrade a building, what we could potentially sell it for, et cetera, and do the same process for Pettibone?
We're gonna do it for every.
And give that to the voters?
As we, back pre-COVID, right, we had our subcommittee that came in and talked about efficiencies and uses of our
Yeah,
buildings.
I was on that committee.
Right. So the goal is now that COVID has dissipated, we're back to way more normalcy, is now to look at all of our buildings and all of our uses and how we need to keep them safe, how we update them, and how we use them. I think it's very important as we're trying to, really uphold a standard on all of our buildings, whether they be here on the town side or the educational side. I think it's really important that we assess every building that we have.
Yep.
To make sure, and the taxpayers themselves know, you know what? These buildings cost X amount of dollars a year to maintain and to upkeep. And if you don't do that, then those lead into where you have much, much, much bigger costs, because now the repairs are way more, or it ends up having to be something new. So I think, we really look at that in a more holistic way altogether.
Perfect. Yep, great, thank you.
I just have one more question. When was that first study done? Was that 2017 when you
I-
first came into?
I think it was 2018, Mary Jane.
Right.
Pierre Studies, I can send that to you if you
It
want,
was
in the council.
2018.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
So I can resend it. And, some of the stuff is outdated now that COVID had happened, but it's something to kind of look at for sure.
I just got a question, Mr. Mayor. So how long was the building occupied by the Board of Education?
Wow.
Long time, I know.
It's a long time. I can get you that answer. I'm not sure.
Understood. But it's way before you, me, and everybody on this,
Oh, yeah.
on this panel here.
And for quite some time, it was a dual role of the Board of Education and the Youth Agency. Then the Youth Agency had moved out
Okay.
when Mayor Grombach had moved them to Pettibone.
Right.
And then the Board of Ed has had sole use of the building for.
The youth agency was up on the top floor,
Yep.
then the Board of Ed, and then in the bottom, called the bottom floors, when you'd walk in off the lawn level, there were, there was another smaller agency that worked in there.
Students
It might have been something like Litchfield Transitions, I can't remember now, but they were there maybe 3 or 4 days each week in the front classroom.
Maybe it was ESS, I think.
Something,
Right.
oh, yeah, something like
Maybe
that.
it was ESS.
Yep.
Anyway, way before you, basically, here.
Yes, sir.
That's what I pointed out.
Oh, a long time.
And that's kind of what I have as an update for you guys on East Street School.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So we'll move to item 7C. And I
Can we
would,
ask questions about those things or that you just reported on or is there no discussion?
I'm sorry, Hillary, I forgot you were there. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I just had a question about the Municipal Building Committee, since that was what you spoke about before East Street. I just wondered if there was anything found out about the minutes that were missing from 6/17/21. There were a series of dates I gave you in an email. I just wanted an update on that.
I can get you that update. I'll send it to you via email, Hillary. I don't believe they talked about it at the last meeting.
No, we did not.
You did not? Okay, great.
We didn't have a quorum, so we didn't do some of the basics.
Okay, great, thanks.
Before we start on C, this is the old, that's in the packet.
Well, I thought it was me, and I went and printed it out again.
Twice since then.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
but you know what?
So
There's
this is
no
the-
there's no,
This is the old one.
no footer.
Because it's not an ordinance.
No, but I mean, when you do a document, there's usually some sort of, and
Well,
I,
I did it myself. with my staff.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
okay, so would you tell me which one is the one we're
I
supposed
think I have the
to?
latest.
The one you got this morning
Yeah.
should have the latest
The
revision.
one that was in the email?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that I left on my desk because I thought this was,
Would you like mine?
no, that's all right. There wasn't that much.
The difference is the date.
Yeah.
Correct the date. Difference is that instead of an MSW, which I learned,
Right,
it needs to be an LCSW.
right?
And the other thing was
With the DSM.
the DSM identifier.
And where was that again?
It's under 5 on the last page.
Oh, let me put mine.
It should be, instead of just DSM, it should be DSM-5-TR,
Been
which is the
revised.
Oh, so
updated
that, I see,
diagnostic and statistical manual.
okay.
Can I get the actual one for the minutes at some point?
You don't have the new one?
No, I have.
Here, I'll give it to
I
you.
have the old one.
So for my motion, so that we all have some idea that we have quasi the right thing in front of us, what I'd like to do is to move to approve the, what we have in front of us for the 7C, the opioid temporary, the settlement temporary committee. Randy has written it up as a resolution, but we have to make a move soon.
Second.
I have
Okay.
another suggestion. And it says where one shall be a certified secondary school educator. I don't know how everybody feels about this, but maybe it should be the health educator in the high school, you know, who teaches the health classes and everything. That might be a more appropriate rather than just a general.
How many do they have that do that, do you know?
The health educator?
Yeah, how many teachers are qualified or whatever to do that?
Oh, I don't know, but they're qualified and certified that we have at the high school. I'm
Right.
not sure how many. I know we had one, possibly two. I'm not really sure.
Only, I'm just asking so
Yeah.
that, you know, I was thinking in the terms of if there's only one and they had to,
The pool is so small.
a small pool, right, exactly.
Could you put it
Exactly.
that person is preferred, that position is preferred rather than required?
Well, that would have to be a town council determination at the time of the appointment. Because if you're gonna do that,
Okay.
then you're gonna say, could be, could be not.
Gotcha.
See?
So, and does it have to be somebody from New Milford? I know in the following paragraph,
No, not the
No.
specialized people.
Right, no.
okay.
Now, these people, I see that they're written here as 5 regular members, okay, and at least, okay, and then we have 5 items here. But I think that it's important, as the mayor has said in the past, that being on this committee could cause some issues for people to become a member of this committee versus being an ad hoc guest or a expert witness, we'll say, for lack of a better term, and still come in and guide and consult with the committee, correct?
And the concern we were talking about is there may have been some of the nonprofits that may want to be involved, but then if they're involved on the committee, they couldn't go access the funding. So they could then be, in turn, could come in, participate as far as give opinions, they just couldn't vote.
Consultancy.
Yes.
Correct.
Right, so if, let's just say it was Mary Jane, you know, we didn't wanna, well, Hillary and I both talked about the NM Can, that's a nonprofit, right? So if they, or the HV Casa that's over that, so they are a nonprofit, and if they were to have somebody sitting as one of these 5 regular members, and they wanted to make the case for some of the funding to be used in maybe one of their training programs or rehabilitation, restorative programs, they might be precluded from doing that because they had a member on the committee versus having somebody like Kathy Hanley or whatever, when talking about some things in their sort of bucket, that she could come and speak as I don't know, what would you call her?
An expert.
An expert, yeah, exactly.
Subject matter expert.
Subject matter, that's the word I was looking for. So that it would not ruin the opportunity for them to receive the funding, that they would be very much opposed to use the way we would want it used. So that's why just thinking about, I mean, if you have a counselor, as you said, the social worker, that's a little different, and a teacher is a little different. But that was something that, you know, we didn't get into at the beginning, but I can think of a lot of ways that might cause a problem for.
You mean you want language in here that says that a consultant, expert consultant is not precluded from partaking?
No, I
understand
don't think we were going that far, because well, I don't know, that's, what do
Well,
you
what
think?
if this person, what if this organization doesn't want the money? I don't know why, but there might be somebody that maybe doesn't want it.
Yeah, then they could serve on the committee,
And
absolutely.
they could serve,
Oh.
but would they have to sign some kind of a waiver or something?
I just think we have to tell them,
Tell
We would let
tell
them
them
know.
before they were appointed by the town council that
Okay,
you risk the ability of not being able to access
Uh-huh.
funding
right.
if you so choose to serve as a member.
That's a basic ethic code violation.
Right,
Yep.
right. So, you know, Brian Cody's law is a good example, the Morrisseys. And, you know, he has all kinds of things that they're doing that, you know, they could use some funding, they're a nonprofit. And he might be a perfect person to speak to some of these issues, but he could certainly come and speak to them as a private citizen or whatever, or a person who's been through all that he's been through, whatever the topic is, rather than sit on the committee and not be
Yeah.
able to.
I guess that would be, you know, a decision he would make. if he
And then,
wanted
of
to
course, that
accept
means
money
they're
or
not tied to whatever number of meetings we have either, which might be an
I think,
attractive.
can I say something?
Sure.
I think you want the best possible minds with the widest depth of experience and expertise deciding these decisions. And if that happens to be someone who's in a nonprofit, then Mayor, when you're talking to them about nominating them or putting them on the committee, you can ask them if they want to serve on the committee and maybe not, you know, trading the
Right.
possibility of getting funding for their organization, but that choice would be theirs.
Of course.
You know what I mean? So if they say we'd rather like work towards the effort of opioid addiction and forego any money, you know, to our organization, and I'd like to serve on this committee, I think that's sort of worth hearing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think we as a council should
We're not
presume
saying that we want to do
real
that.
experts, people that, yeah.
Nobody's
agree.
saying that. No, we don't want to make that.
Oh, okay.
Too many, you know, if too many things like that, we really will never find people who want to do this. And I think that, I agree with you, the best people to help make these decisions, we have to make it somewhat attractive because those people are going to be busy doing what it is they do that makes them experts, right?
Yep, and Randy, just for the edification of those watching and in the audience, in talking about the ordinance or the resolution that you have here, is they are only making recommendations to the council, and then the council itself is the one that approves the distribution.
Correct. So recommending, the town council is legislative body.
Yep,
So you have the purse strings.
thank you.
And could I ask one more question? I'm sorry.
Sure.
It's just exactly on that point. From the wording, I'm just asking Randy, is it that they would be coming to in a 6-month window of time, they would then come to us after 6 months and say, this is how the $67,000 should be spent, and we would approve that? Or is it like every month they're going to come to us and say, we want to spend $20,000 here, do you approve it? Do you want to spend, do you see what I'm saying? It's going to
Right.
be broken up, or is it one approval that we will seek at the end of the 6-month window?
It's when they have a recommendation to make, they can make it at any time.
Of
There's
any
no-
amount.
Of
Okay.
any amount. There's
Good.
no preclusion in here intentionally. But they have to report monthly.
Yep.
So every month they can come in with, they want 10,000 here, recommend 5,000 here.
Or no recommendation.
Or not make a recommendation.
Right.
So I had a comment on specifically that, Randy. My concern is if we're writing it where they have to come to us monthly, I would prefer to see something as needed. I don't want to overburden a volunteer committee to
Record
come here.
could be just a
Right.
memo or a
Right.
phone call.
They don't
Doesn't
have
say.
to be, you know, they don't have to be, suppose it was a municipal building committee, and they were gonna come once a month. They wouldn't all come, we wouldn't all, well, some of us would be here, but they would have someone come, or they would send the mayor their comments, correct? Their
Right,
report.
right. It intentionally didn't say the type and manner of
Okay.
report.
Right.
Now,
I
having
agree
said
with you,
that,
that's a
if
lot
they
to
have a
ask.
recommendation, you're gonna want to hear the recommendation.
Well, absolutely, yeah, that goes without saying. If they didn't have a recommendation, I didn't want somebody having to sit down and write some report, which
Sure.
is
You
really
know why
not
I did
going
this?
to be
Because it's a
meaningless.
6-month committee.
Yeah,
So I did a
right.
monthly thing.
Okay.
Right.
No, and that's good, because it keeps
Keeps the
them
ball
thinking
rolling.
about it, that's right, that's right.
Anybody have any other questions or comments, Mary
Just
Jane?
one more comment on one shall be a parent residing in New Milford.
Yeah.
I would think it should realistically be a parent who is, possibly has a child or somebody in their custody that's in recovery, possibly, or still in the throes of addiction. I mean, just a suggestion other than just a general parent at large. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So
yeah.
I would
Well,
think,
Doug,
Well.
you would want somebody who had some familiarity
right,
with
not just
the issues.
anybody who's,
Well, right, yes.
You don't wanna put that in here?
Yeah, I don't think we
I
want
don't know how
to,
you
we
do
want to
that.
make a parent disclose that? I don't.
We'll not have a
I mean, I would think a parent.
well, there
a
are a
parent
lot
that
of parents
volunteers for this.
that, they're actually, excuse me,
Let's just start with this.
excuse me, but I still have the floor.
That's true.
There are a lot of parents that do publicly, and we've had this, through
Yeah.
CAN and stuff, that come out and publicly speak on the green with their children, and their children actually come out and speak too, so it's not like, it's big hush hush. I mean, certainly if you want to keep it private, you keep it private, but there are a lot of people that are willing to share their experience and their information and the trials and tribulations that they've gone through as a family. So I just think it might be, whether you want to put it in here or not, but I think when you're looking for a parent, perhaps maybe that's a better avenue to go.
I think, Mary Jane, you are correct. If someone has the family experience or they have gone through this or are going through this, I think as a parent, I think that would be something that I think the committee and the council would definitely want to know or hear about experiences. I think that just makes it a richer and better committee.
Yeah, definitely.
But I don't think we should put it in this.
Well, that's fine. I just so that you're aware that,
Absolutely.
that we have a lot of families that are willing to come out publicly and speak about it.
So Randy, let me just give you a what if. So we have a parent. What if a parent contacted one of the people on this committee and said, this is my background, this is why I'm interested, this is what happened in my family. But I do not want you to, identify me. I'll be happy to come to your meetings and speak with you, but when you write this all up, I don't want my name, Mrs. John Smith, and I live on this road. Would that be something that could be done?
If they're not a member of the committee?
If they were.
If they were a member of the, no, if a member committee has to be
Okay,
public.
so I'm back to saying that a
Yeah.
person who has an issue would come as the expert witness if they wanted to
Yeah.
tell the committee what
Or if
they.
they're on the committee, they don't have to disclose that they have an affected child.
No, I'm talking about someone
You
who
can do that
wants
in the
to
interview
come.
process.
Because I see it more, and I think Mary Jane is saying this too, is that if you really know this from the inside, you want to come and tell these people, because a lot of people don't know how to address it properly. And if you've had a child or a person in your family who's gone through it, you want to get involved in what happens with the funds to help. But that's where you're going to be laying your soul
You've got a
out.
balancing act
Yeah,
here.
right. So then maybe that shouldn't be a person who's a member of, I don't know how you would,
Can I make a recommendation?
I mean, Mary Jane's the one who said it should be somebody who had the issue, so
I
ask
think
her.
it could be. I don't think it precludes anybody, but it's up to them. It's a personal decision. And if, when the mayor interviews, that would be something that might come up.
So we leave it as a parent,
My
And then-
recommendation is, you're the,
but your recommendation I'm asking for.
I'm not the one that does the voting. Yes, that's my recommendation.
Leave it as parent,
Yes.
no other modifier. Okay.
Having said that, I wasn't elected. You are. So.
Well, you stay here long enough, they might have,
No.
oh, wrong town. And then the at-large individual, again, that's just another resident.
Representing the people of the North.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? And we have a motion, right, Stephanie, and a
I-
second?
Can I just say one other question?
Sure.
And Randy could answer this, I'm sorry, but has there been, it's just such a narrow, this is very specific, really describing the types of jobs and, so I just wonder, like, if, somebody can't serve on the committee anymore, we have to replace that person, and it has to be the, certified secondary school. I just worry that this is so narrow. Have we done this before quite like this, that it's really specifying this, to this detail?
No. The reason I did this, I recommend it this way, was because if you take a look at that statute and you take a look at the second page here, this information is really subject to people who know what they're talking about. That is,
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's
1 through 6.
Number 1 through 6. This is not something Randy DeBella knows about or is experienced in. And I think it's my recommendation that you have professionals do this. This is too important. And the other thing is, I expect more money to come to this.
Yeah.
And you want people who know what they're doing to make the recommendations.
Right.
That's just but again, it's up to you. It's up to the
And-
council.
And Hillary, also having 2 out of these 5 people, one will be at-large individual resident of New Milford, and the other one will be a parent. So either of those could be filled at some point with somebody who has a background in, or our expert witness. I don't know, I don't like calling them witnesses.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Any abstentions? Thank you, everybody.
Mr. Mayor, what
Yes,
I'll
sir.
do is, because the wrong one was included in the package, I'll do another one. I've got it, actually, already. And I'll send it to your office, and it can be disseminated for signature.
Perfect.
Okay?
Can you put a little date at the bottom when
I'll
you do
date
it?
the bottom, yeah.
Thank you, Randy.
All right.
I know you didn't go to
Sal?
secretary school.
Motion to adjourn.
Sal. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye,
Opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you, everybody.
thank you.